Turn 18. Well, this is interesting. If you've been following the comments on YouTube or on BGG, you've noticed that I've got a couple of rules mistakes to fix. Most of them are in the game's favor, so I don't feel too bad. And I'm actually really excited because I think I've been making the game harder than it has to be, and it's already plenty hard. So I'm thrilled to find that there are some things I need to fix. So one of the things I realized was that in the R action, units will only redeploy if they can get closer to the nearest unit, not just nearer to any unit. So this guy here started off in E14, and the nearest unit at the time, these guys weren't here, was over here. And he can only move 3, 1, 2, 3. He couldn't get closer. So I had to move down here just to get closer to, I think there were guys here at that time. He shouldn't have moved at all because he couldn't get closer to the nearest unit, which was over here. So I don't think he should have moved. Okay. Then over here, F5 was open for an R action, and I didn't reinforce. I had someone here forgetting that just because he's here, a hex can be in US communication and still in Japanese communication. So the hex can still draw communication, in any number of ways. We weren't physically in it. And then later on, this guy here was here and he moved down. So I think the easiest way to fix this is to take a unit from the reserve box, after I shuffle them up a little bit, okay, and put it right back here, because had that all happened the way it should have, or actually, let's just switch them. This was the guy that was there, and now I put that guy there, okay? So that's what that should have looked like. All right, that's those two. Then down here, and it's funny, I knew this, but I just was tired. Units, I reinforced this at one point with an R action, or resupplied it with an R action. Units cannot get a depth marker if they are out of communication. So that guy should not have gotten a depth marker. Furthermore, this was exciting to learn because I had just either missed this or forgotten this. You check Japanese communication at the beginning of the fire phase. So if something's out of communication at the beginning of the fire phase, it stays out of communication. So when this guy shot our engineer unit here and opened that up, this was not eligible for reinforcements. So these guys are not here. It's a mirage. Whoosh. And we had our tanks fire at them and barrage them. That was just their nerves were frayed, and they thought they saw some movement over here. It was a coconut falling from a tree, and so they blasted it. Okay. So that is good. I feel much stronger on the communication rules now, and we can actually go into turn 18. Turn 18, amphibious phase. Well, we've got to move our guys in the water. So good news is 1, 2, 3. This guy lands. He's going to help take him out. Bad news is these guys are already in the red zone, although these guys are disrupted. But now they're entering blue. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So hopefully we don't get yet another blue. All right. So that was our amphibious phase first event. Turn 17 earlier. Take a naval fire marker. Shibasaki was almost killed for a 4th time, but it's take a naval fire marker. Okay, and those seem to be fairly prevalent on the turn 17 to 30 events. It seems like things start going in our favor. And we can hold on to these. I don't have to use it. So I'm going to hold on to that for now. Well, obviously for now, can't use it now, but I mean, we can hold it from turn to turn. All right, fire phase. Okay, red is okay because they're disrupted, so they're not going to hit the guys, and blue isn't firing for once. Thank you. We had 3 blues in a row, and I think there was one before that I shuffled, so I think it was 4 in a row. All right. I am very excited now. Things have turned. Let's see what happens. Double yellow, and double yellow wants to do the A action. Okay, not seeing any double yellows. And I'm not seeing any empty yellows that are within 2. So I don't think we have to worry about the yellow. Red. I think we moved these guys out of here, didn't we? Oh, and they can hit leaders too. Oof. Good thing we weren't over here. So red star, they're not going to do anything special. They're just going to sit there. No one to fire at. Here's a red. And fortunately, he's looking for... yeah, gotta make sure I'm looking at the right card. He's looking for a circle. And this guy's in his field of fire, but he's a triangle. So that doesn't do anything. These guys are disrupted. Don't worry about that. That's blue, we know. That's brown, we know. These are brown. Here's a red, and here's a red. But he's a diamond, so he escapes his fire. Oh, wait a minute, this guy, but he's a triangle. So both these guys are in this guy's field of fire. Don't have to worry about that. And don't have to worry about any empties because it's just the star action. Now we have a purple R. Now we've got some movement business. All right, let me pause and just make sure I get this right before I do it. All right, we're doing purple. I had to stop and work through something that I'll show you here in a second. This guy, first of all, is just going to fire at him. Okay, and actually he's going to resupply and fire. Unfortunately, so he beefs up, but he's a triangle, so we're okay there. They're looking for circles. This guy wants to redeploy. Now, per the rules, he wants to move towards the nearest US unit. So that would be this guy who's 7 away. Now to get closer to him, I think he can go 1, 2, 3. Now 1, 2, 3, 4. Now he's 5 away. But fortunately he doesn't resupply, he just moves. All right, so that was single purple there, that was single purple. Now we come to this case. Now, he doesn't have his field of fire, so he wants to redeploy to the nearest US unit. He's got a choice of 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, either one of these two. So then it says, if there's a choice, put it in a hex of a different color. Well, all of these are different than purple. And then if more than one or none in the nearest position, then in the higher numbered position, in the nearest position. So in the nearest position to him, which would be this, or in the nearest position to a US unit, which would then be one of these two. I don't feel like stopping and going on BGG and doing all that, so I'm just going to put it in the nearest position to him. If that's wrong, so be it, but one of the critiques I have about the game is I spend a little too much time executing the AI actions and stuff, and I don't feel like stopping, going to BGG, posting or waiting for replies, so I'm moving them here to keep going. Okay, to me, the nearest position to that, I don't know. And then he's going to fire, right? But fortunately, he's green, and we don't have to worry about that. All right. No other purples now. One must always be aware of empty purples. But empty, they have to be within 2. Not this guy, right? We can ignore that. These guys are 1, 2, 3. Unfortunately, B, we don't have to worry about the B zone. The reinforced is only for these northern D, E, and F. So we don't have to worry about A's and B's reinforcing, at least coastals, okay? Inland's a different story. Okay, but these ones are coastal We don't have to worry about them. And this guy is 1, 2, 3. We don't have to worry about him. And there was no artillery. All right, I think we're okay with that. Next event. 17 to 30, place a hero marker on any U.S. unit. Yeah, I like these 17 to 30 events. I like that a lot. We get to put a hero on somebody, and I'm going to pause the camera while I think about that. I've looked over the board. There isn't an obvious position. Some of our units are going to start getting free actions broadcasted by the command posts, so I feel like putting a hero on them would be a bit redundant. These guys over here sure could use some free actions, but the problem is I don't know if I want to allocate a hero over to here. I don't have good units. I'm feeling like we're overextended here. These guys have to retreat. These guys are not anywhere near sufficient to take on these guys. I mean, putting it on him is kind of sort of tempting, but I feel like we're not going to do anything other than retreat over here. I don't know what we're going to do over there. Okay, I just paused the camera and thought through what I thought I had already thought through, and I think I am going to give these guys a hero. I think they could use some help. I'm going to put them on top of what's left of A12. So Reichsee, and I'm going to go write that down, that Reichsee is going to A12. What I was originally thinking was actually to put it on this guy here, so that this turn he could go 1, 2, or next turn, in the amphibious phase, 1, 2, 3. This guy's not strong enough to broadcast a free action to him, so if I give him a hero, then he can take a free action and, you know, start moving over here. There's a case to be made for that. At the same time, these guys will start broadcasting a bigger and bigger radius. The other HQ is here, bigger and bigger radius. So it feels a little bit redundant, and these guys sure could use the help. I think what I'm going to do is, all we've got left under here is that. I think we might want to consolidate and put these guys in here. They're out of range of the red. I think we're going to assume a defensive stance here, and anticipate that they're going to start charging towards us. I would think. I don't know. This is interesting. I don't feel confident, but I find it very interesting to see what I should do next with this. Pulling back is definitely what we should do. I'm thinking. I'm just not sure how. All right. Now it's the engineer and HQ phase, and we get to have some fun here. All right. My thought is as follows. Use 1 to burn off this. And by the way, these guys are no longer disrupted. It's the only disruption marker for them, and that comes off. So we got 6, by the way, because we landed another one. So that's exciting. So we've got 6 support markers. That was 1. 2 is to put that one there while the getting is good. 3 is to put, yeah, let's cover that up. 3. Then again, hang on a second, an argument could be made to not put these down. You know why? Because there's that event card that says, you know, replace a garrison with a Japanese unit. They build tunnels. So if you actually are holding a spot with an engineer, that seems like that's even safer than a garrison. So now I'm all gun shy after what happened. I do want to put one here. So that this guy can like leave. This guy can't get one because that's not safe. Although this guy, what do we have here? Support. All right, fine, put one there. And that leaves us 2, and I think I'm going to take those 2 for extra actions. I think that's what I'm going to do. Oof. The decisions. I'm going to pause the camera for like 20 minutes and think about stuff. You know what? This one was quick. Let's do the low-hanging fruit. We're going to attack this guy. And he's doubled because he's in a rough crater. And I want to go in with 16 because I think 4 is the highest inland. So just in case he's a 4 doubled to 8, I want to have 16. We've got 8 here, so it's easy enough. 8 and another 4 and another 4. Plus we're flanking him, so in case he needs to be flanked. And we should have all weapons, so I feel pretty good about this attack. And I'm sorry, I forgot to do this bit of fun. Both command posts move up, so they're now both in the 3 range. So they're both broadcasting free actions. Sorry, I didn't put these out. I should have. So these guys are taking their free actions. These guys are still eligible, and these guys are taking their free action. All right, and then I'll do the other ones after this attack. So let's see what we got. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. After you play the game, you start to anticipate these things. I knew that he was a reserve unit that had come there, so I knew that he was going to be tough. He was going to be a 2, 3, or a 4. So in that case, you might as well assume he's a 4 and go in with 18 or 16. And flanking is always a good idea. Radio, you bet we got a radio because we got a heavy weapons unit. So he is gone. Oh, that was a true sigh of relief. Let me load up our free actions here, see what I got. My system is breaking down. I'm running out of smoke markers because of how many free actions I'm getting. All right, now I don't know if I should even be thinking about realistically achieving the victory conditions, but who knows with this turn of events. I need to get, I mean, I don't know how I'm going to get all of this out of here and all of this out of here, but if I were to, I'm going to need to get all of B. Basically, the ones that I wouldn't get all of would be the edges, right? Would be C over here. These ones, yeah, ain't going to happen. This could conceivably happen because we're getting some late waves of units, but I would think A would be the next one to not aim for. So the ones I would aim for would be B, D, E, and F. That's probably what everyone does who plays this game, goes for those, right? They're the closest. So in that case, and we've got to get some, is it 3 or 5? Oh, never mind. We don't have to worry about anything projecting onto the southern beach. It's just the very simple all of 4 and at least 1 in the other 2. Okay, so I don't necessarily have to worry about it. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to run this guy, what's that, one of our actions, 1, 2, 3 up to here. Okay, this is a threat to reinforce or something because it's inland, but the coastal bees aren't, so there's that. Then I'm going to try to swing him around and grab a C. And this one would be good because to secure it, we have to occupy, I have to get this one and this one. There's a C down here as well. That would not be a bad one if I can get that far. But I'm going to just try to see if I can get a real cheap grab. If I can get here, all this one has to do is I just have to get this one and the yellow. And if I can get those 2 before one of them happens to reinforce, so let's see what happens. So I'm going to do that with him. I have an idea for this. Use the naval fire marker. Right, because we have, well, we're within command, we're in command of an HQ, so yeah, so we've got a radio. And call in the attack, remove the disruption marker, remove the depth marker, disrupt them, and then prepare for a flank attack. Let me pause and set that up. Ay, caramba, brain is melting. Yeah, so I called in the naval fire strike here, disrupted them, and then this stack was able to move without doing an infiltration move. So they moved here. Units that were stacked here with the HQ have come over here, so now we're preparing for a flank attack. These guys are in a brown field of fire, which could be a problem. This guy gets a free action. I don't want to vacate that space. We only need 4, so as long as these guys both weren't shot, and they can't because they're 2 different symbols, then that would be 2 firepower factors and 2. That would be 4. No, that would be equal. Equal's not good. We need to get to 8. What am I thinking? Blur. I need another... Oh, this tank hasn't moved yet. Let's bring the tank up. There you go. Okay, so now the tank is there. Okay, now we should have sufficient firepower next turn, even if these guys get hit from the brown, to take him out. And this guy holds position here. I also moved an engineer that was there onto that space. Yeah, we're not leaving that open again. Okay, lesson learned. There were some... Oh, I was messing around here. These guys were actually here, both of them. They're going to go 1, 2, 3. I'm not sure what to do with this yet. I don't know if I'm going to make a push north and try to leave this for last, or if I'm going to make a push this way. I don't know, but I'm going to put them here, basically in command of this guy. So next turn, they'll be able to do something, whatever that is. I don't know. Okay. These guys are going to stay here, but I think there's one guy here. This engineer... 1, 2, 3. Let's move him here. Okay, he's got a flamethrower. Could be handy. Yeah, those guys aren't doing anything. And... oh, boy. Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's better to have our units get shot than to have new units introduced in the game. So he's going to go over here and try to hold this position, making himself susceptible to red. But at least, you know, preventing that from reinforcing. Then this guy is going to go 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to start playing the land grab game. Because we can put out garrisons. That are adjacent to a U.S. unit, and the U.S. unit is in communication, and that the position is not in a field of fire. This one doesn't have any brown symbols on it, so I believe we could drop a garrison here and here next turn, assuming none of this changes. Couldn't put one here. I mean, if we, even if we were adjacent, because this receives brown fire, and then this guy can put one here, so I can start grabbing some stuff, I think. And then this guy is going to go. I don't know what he's going to do. What is this guy going to do? I honestly don't know. I can't formulate a bigger plan at the moment, so this feels kind of lame, but I'm just going to put him here. He's going to play free safety, which is an American football term. He's just going to be in the middle of the board, and if something pops up, he can run up here. At the same time, I'm starting to move some forces this way. I want to get some forces, and then I think... then make a move towards this. I'm not exactly sure. So I think putting him there is fine, because he can go north, south, or north, depending on what I want him to do. All right. That is everything except for the bird's beak. Let's see what I want to do here. Here's what I'm thinking. Still have 2 support markers. I'm going to allow myself to go back in time and put this here, because that didn't change during the turn. It's just hard to know what actions you're going to need kind of until you take your turn and you realize, all right, then I'll go back and put a garrison. So I'm going to put a garrison there. And oh, I still have actions. How about this? Would this be dumb? What if we used an action on him? What if we retreated from here? He's in the field of fire, purple and red. What if he went 1, 2, I don't know, 3? And then what if this guy, whoops, using another action went over here? So what that would mean is this is, you know, 1, 2, 3 away. Not big enough to do something. We're not in the yellow field of fire. We put a garrison here because this was all occupied in that phase. Yeah, we're leaving. We're vacating this, but yeah. And I don't know. Got another free action that we're probably not going to use. I think I'm going to want to. I'm going to use this last support marker free action to put him over here. No, he'll stay there. I don't know. I'm not sure. This guy is the hero is with this unit, and I want to stack them all in here. And this is what it looks like with one more action. I think I'm just going to move him up here. Not really sure, as you can see, but now, you know what? What I'm thinking is maybe someone might redeploy and jump down into this blue, and of course, if I vacate this hex, I don't want to do that. All right, fine. I'm doing that. The tank is staying there, and this guy with the flamethrower is coming up there. Okay. What I was thinking was, there's a blue hex here. I'm not charging these guys. I think that would be death with these. I learned that before. But if they come to us, they're going to come into blue. So if I can put both tanks in blue, then they can barrage, because I believe they have to be in the field of fire to barrage, and this tank is not. He's in yellow. But if I move him over here, then we have that, and we don't want that. So I think this turn is going to be move this guy into here, and then next turn move the tank over there in blue. Okay, wow, the turns are getting really, really long, which is fun. I mean, there's a lot to chew on over here. So, this I'm not really sure. I'm not sure how other people play, but I can't always figure out, like, well, I'm just going to go do this. Sometimes it's like, I don't know, I'm just kind of consolidating my forces and seeing what happens versus trying to force something. I mean, it probably also makes sense to let these guys land and consolidate. Some of them are going to have to go east, and then some of these other guys are going to go this way. It occurs to me that maybe I should have sent some more over to here, but that's too late. I sent them this way. Okay, that was turn 18. Oops, I got a little overexcited. That guy can't move. He fired. These guys can't move. They fired. Okay, so they'll have to wait. And this guy, he fired too. I just ran out of. That's why I have a system like this, because I can make mistakes like that. Okay, that should fix it.